What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new YouTube video. My name is Kate Wamuko. I'm very glad you're here. So as you can see from the title, today we are doing some gardening. So I'm gonna share with you some tips and tricks and hacks, whatever you call it. Just a few bits of information that you could use while you're doing your gardening. My very first tip for you will be to save your seeds. What I mean by this is, instead of going to your local agrovet shop or supermarket to buy these seed packets every time you need to plant a particular seed or vegetable, what you can do is save the seeds from the actual vegetable when you have it. You get, like, if you want to plant, for instance, bell peppers, instead of going to buy this seed packet, when you have actual bell peppers, why not save the seeds and then dry them out and then plant them when you need to plant cohoes, you get. So I've done this for so many things. I've done it for pili pili, for habaneros, jalapenos. I've done it for fruits like papaya. Like you can see, I have so many seedlings that have grown from seeds that we've saved from actual papayas. I have done this for even flowers like sunflowers. When they bloom, what happens is they die, and then when they die, you can get the actual seeds from the dead flower, yeah, and then you can save those seeds and then replant them, and you have an endless supply of seeds and flowers, which is a very good way to save money. And yeah, it's just really easy. My second tip related to seeds is use your bud seeds. What I mean by that is, for instance, when you're chaguing your beans and your peas and your ndengu, there are these seeds that you will not eat because they don't look good enough to eat. And for some reason, yes, they're not good enough to eat, but when you plant them in your garden, they actually grow. So I have formed the habit of saving these bud seeds and planting them in the garden. And I will, as you can see right now, I have beans growing, and all of them have been planted from the bud seeds. So that's another way to save your money, and also you're just using what you have already. So win-win, right? My third tip will be to grow your own seeds. Now, what I mean by this is, if you have plants already growing in your garden, and these are plants that from which seeds grow. Now, for instance, I will give an example of herbs. When herbs grow and they overgrow, or when they bolt, what happens is they flower, and then when the flowers die, they grow into seeds. So that's one way you can grow your own seeds, where you have one plant is for, you allow it to overgrow, so to speak, and then you have seeds from it, so that you allow the others to grow normally, where you don't allow them to flower. And this one plant, you allow it to grow into seed. I've done this for lettuce, which I did by mistake. I didn't know that lettuce actually grows into flowers, and it grows the most beautiful dandelion like flowers. And I've done that for lettuce. I've done that for parsley. A lot of herbs actually grow into seeds and flowers, and you can do that for so many other vegetables. You can actually just do your research and see how it goes. One disclaimer I will give you for that is, once you allow your plant to bolt, a lot of the times with many vegetables and herbs, what happens is the quality of the output quality goes down. That's why I'm saying, if you're going to do this with one plant, and then let the others grow as normal. Yeah. So another tip I could give you about seeds is, first of all, sometimes you could use these seed packets and they do not work. Now, you have to be very careful about where you buy your seed packets, and you have to make sure that they have not stayed for too long. So you check the date of packing. It's usually written at the back over here. So make sure that it was not packed like 5 years ago. Obviously, it will have stayed for way too long, and the seeds inside will not be viable. Another reason could be that maybe you're not being patient enough, and your seeds take a long while to grow, and you will actually be assuming or presuming that your seeds are not growing while the germination period is longer. So what I would advise you to do is to do your research beforehand, see how long the seeds take, give or take. It's not usually accurate most of the times. See how long your seeds take to grow, and put that into consideration when you're planting your seeds. These seed packets don't come with instructions, unfortunately, instructions for how to grow them. But you can actually just Google information. Google is rich in information of how to grow your seedlings, how to prepare your seed beds, how to do all that. And you can just do your research beforehand so that you know which conditions are favorable for whatever seed packets you're using. The next money saving tip I'm going to give you is with regards to planting your seeds. Now, you can go the way of buying seed trays and planting your seeds on them. However, you can also go the way of just using what you have. I have done both ways. I have seed trays, obviously, as you can see, and I've planted some seedlings in there, but I have a lot of seedlings and they can't all fit in the 2 trays I have. So I went the route of just using what I have, and what I have is yogurt cups, these plastic dishes that come with food. I've used broken mugs. I have used paper bags, the ones that are, they have this hardy paper. I have used broken jugs. I have used sufurias. You can use just about anything to plant your seedlings in, and it's good also for the environment, because these things, you are probably not going to use them again, you're probably going to throw them away. So just reuse them and give them a bit more purpose before they totally break down and you have to actually throw them away. Another tip I have for you is when labeling your seeds. For instance, for me, I have so many seeds in so many different containers, and it's very difficult to keep track of all the seeds. So what I've done is created labels for every container. Now you can actually print out labels and make them waterproof and do that. But another way you can make labels by just using what you have. So I learned this tip from a YouTube channel where they said you can cut up yogurt cups and then write whatever plant it is you've grown in that seed bed on the piece you've cut off, and you write it with a permanent marker. I find yogurt cups to be really difficult to cut, especially if you don't have the big scissors. So a hack I found was you can actually use these cups. These are the cups used once. What are they called? I've forgotten what they're called. These cups, and then you cut them into strips, and then you write down the name of whatever seed it is you have in your seedbed, and you already have labels. But make sure you use a permanent marker, because if you don't, the writing will get scrubbed off and you will forget what you planted there, especially if you have so many seedlings. The next tip I have for you is to make sure you plant any crop in the environment where it thrives in. Yeah, so for instance, there are plants which prefer full sunshine, like from morning to evening every single day. That is how they thrive. There's plants that prefer shaded areas. There's plants that prefer areas where they get a lot of rainfall, for instance, and there's plants that prefer little to moderate to little rainfall. It depends on each plant. Yeah, so while you're planting whatever it is you're planting, make sure you've planted it in the best environment for it. Every garden has a spot where it gets full sunshine, where it gets moderate sunshine, where in the morning gets sunshine and then in the evening it's shaded. It depends on your garden, but just before you plant something, do the research so that it does not fail because you planted something in full sunshine and it basically dried up because you did not plant it in the proper place. So again, I would just say, just do your research to find out what grows best where, so that you give plants the most optimum conditions for their growth. So the other tip I have for you is how to protect your seedlings from the elements, especially from getting destroyed. So you've already planted your seedlings in your trays and in your containers. You're obviously not going to leave them outside, because when it rains really heavily, the soil might splatter and your seeds might fail to grow because they've splattered out with the water. So you might want to keep them in a place where they are safe from the elements, safe from extreme elements, where you can sort of control their growth and control and sort of protect them. I usually keep them in the veranda so that yes, they get sunlight, but it's not direct sunlight, and I water them often so that they do not dry out. So that's one way I protect my seedlings. The other way is if I've planted my seedlings directly in the garden, because there are some seeds you won't plant in the seed bed first, yeah. So if I've planted my seeds directly in the garden, how I protect them is by mulching. Now mulching is the use of organic material to cover soil, and essentially the goal is one, to retain moisture, but it also serves to protect the seeds and the seedlings from the elements, essentially like if animals like cats come and walk on them, or you know, anything like that. You are essentially protecting the seedlings from damage by using dead leaves, using organic waste and stuff like that to protect the soil and essentially to protect the seedlings. So that's two tips of how you can protect your seedlings and your growing seeds in your seedbed. Another tip I have for you is keep an open mind. Always be open to everything. Like I said, not every plant will grow in your garden. Some things just refuse to grow, and that's fine. So keep an open mind. Don't restrict yourself to, okay, I'll just plant skuma wiki and spinach because that's what you need on the regular. You can plant herbs, you can plant spices. I recently discovered that you can actually plant cumin, and I actually planted a few seeds. I just picked a few from the spice jar and planted the seeds, and they sprouted. I was so excited. I've just tried so many things. I'm right now I'm trying to plant peanuts. I'm just really curious about what the plant looks like because I've never planted it. I have such a variety of plants in the garden, and that's basically a result of just trying a lot of different things. So try a lot of different things. You will fail a lot when you're gardening. I don't know, there's a lot of factors you have to put in your mind. One day it's not raining, the next day it's extra sunny, the next day your plant has caught a disease. It's so many factors that will affect your garden. But what you need to do is just try a lot of things, do a lot of research, be open-minded, um, and just learn as you go. Basically just learn as you go. It's as easy as that. But try a lot of things so that you're not limited to just the regular things that everyone grows. Don't just plant skuma wiki and manago and whatnot. Try a lot of different things, and you can find that in the end, even if you have a small space, you have so much variety to work with, so much so that you are going to your garden to harvest your own spices, your own herbs, your own fruits and stuff, just because you've kept an open mind. Yeah, so that has been my video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I really enjoy doing these gardening videos. They're really calming to me, and I hope you've learned something from this video. All these things I learned by doing and by also just doing a bit of research, and I thought I would share them with you. So I hope you've learned something today, and yeah, thank you for watching. See you on the next one.